So hey everyone, I'm Samik and today we will be trying to learn multivariable case in chain rule. So I first came across this when I was watching this incredible video by Karpathy and uh, and when we had written our value object and wrote methods for it, we came at a point that he said that okay, this actually a bug in our problem, and the problem was here's what first happened. We had these two variables e and d. E was also dependent on a and b, and d was also dependent on a and b. So when we were trying to backpropagate and calculate the gradients for a and b, when we called the grad method on e, it calculated a value, and then when we called it on d, it also calculated a grad value for a and b, and it basically overwrote what was initially calculated by e, but which was basically incorrect. The actual values, the values that they show here right now is for a it shows 3 and for b it shows 2, but the actual values are for a for a for a it should be minus 3 and for b it should be minus 8. So here's what happens. Let's go over it one by one. So here the grads, so d is a into b and e is a plus b. Here the grads are incorrect uh, because they are overwritten by d dot grad. First, e dot grad is called, which calculates a value for a grad minus 6 and for b dot grad minus 6 also. And then d dot grad method is called on d, which calculates the value a dot grad equal to 3 and b dot grad equal to minus 2, which is what we see here, which are not the actual values. The true value would be minus 3 and minus 8, which is basically addition of this and this. He he also mentioned that uh, the gradients actually get accumulated, and in the code he also added a plus somewhere in here. Wait a second. No. So here you can see he added a plus value plus here, but why are we accumulating gradients? So here we will learn the multivariable case of chain rule. So consider a equation w, which is a function of x and x and y are both dependent on a single variable d. Look at this diagram, it will explain the same thing in a better way. So w is dependent on two variables, which is x and y, which both of them are dependent on a single variable called t. And if you want to calculate how w would be dependent upon t, so first of all, since it is dependent on since it is dependent upon two variables, there will be a partial derivative, and so del y del w by del x we mentioned here, and x will be dependent on t, del x by del t. Same would happen with here, del w by del y and dy by dt. If it's still not clear, here's how it goes. Suppose I make a small change t here, so this t would affect both x and y. So when we make a small change delta t, it would bring about a delta x change, which would be rate of change of x with respect to t and the small change delta t. Same with y. And this small changes del x and del y would affect w, which would basically bring about a change of del w. So how much of del w is brought about by x is given by this, and how much of del w change is brought about by y is given by this. But they are individual changes that are brought about by delta x and delta y. So the complete change that would be brought about by them would be the addition. So thus we come to this equation, which is dw by dt equal to del w by del x into dx by dt plus del y del w by del y plus dy by dt. Here's an example that would solidify your understanding. Let's consider w, a equation that is dependent upon x and y, and our equation is x square y. X is dependent variable upon t, 2t plus 1, and as we calculated above, when you put the values in, you get this, and then you put the value of x and value of y. This is the final equation that we get. So that was the multivariable case for the chain rule. So that's it. So that this equation is the main reason why we are accumulating gradients. So what happened here was, when the gradient that would be stored in a dot grad and b dot grad would be sum of the gradient, it would be basically how a is affecting both e and d, and how b is affecting both e and d. So yeah, that's it. I'm pretty sure there would be some doubts, and I will be happy to clear some of them, and you should basically definitely check out this video. It will clear your cases. And the other one video was this video by Dr. Trevor Bassett. These two videos should basically cover all of the doubts that you have. So thank you for watching.